As some of the more die-hard fans of Fallout, mods for Fallout 4 or 3, Fallout London is a DLC-sized mod that will come for Fallout 4 very, very soon, actually. The year is nearly over, and it's still in development, but here in the background, you will see a gameplay trailer, essentially, that I took from YouTube, because I personally don't have access to the game to play it, but I still wanted something in the background for it. So taking place in London, the map size is told to be the same as Fallout 4's regular Commonwealth. And before saying anything, yes, it will need a new save file because it's all new characters, it's an all new world, a different protagonist, and everything else. Of course, there's many other things to mention, so let's get into the video. So the Fallout series staple won't be Vault Boy or Vault-Tec, but they will have a counterpart, a British counterpart, which means there will be their version of a vault, but it's just a bomb shelter underground, so no comfortable living is expected. The FEV virus also has not reached UK, so there won't be any death claws, super mutants, or centaurs, and very likely that there's going to be a lower chance of psychers around, which for me is an interesting concept to explore an area, a city that is still reached by the Great War, but there's going to be much lower hostiles, but there is going to be different gangs and other settlements to explore, and also there are going to be other counterparts to the original Fallout lore. The tech is going to look a bit different. There's going to be a different overhaul, as you see on the screen. The perk screen is different, and overall it's going to have a different outlook on things, and certain areas are probably going to seem brand new to many Fallout players, and I think this is a very, very interesting concept. Another important question some may have is, this mod will be on console? Well, no. Even on their website, they say that it won't be coming on console. It's going to be a PC-only type experience, because, well, it's going to take a long time to even do something like that to bring it to consoles, because it's a team of people working together in their own free time, which is very respectable that they're doing that, but expected only to be on PC. So here comes the more interesting part, and maybe the part some people will be waiting for, about a voiced protagonist, and the answer is no. There won't be a voiced protagonist. After doing internal interviews, polls, and overall research into also the game's voice audios and everything, there was no possibility to make a voiced protagonist. The audio lines were distorted once they tried putting things together, and overall it created weird tones, and that's why they chose not to go with the voice protagonist. I think it's a nice idea to go back to something like that, especially since one of my favorite games from Fallout of all time, which was Fallout New Vegas, also had a protagonist that was not voiced. Of course, I think there's going to be still different ways to go around it. There's going to be different ways how to interact. Most likely it's still going to be the same with the dialogue as it was in Fallout 3 and 4, where you chose what you said, and the NPCs just answered as if you talked, but there were no voice lines. Other than that, I think it's gonna be a good idea, and overall, I don't find anything wrong with it. So that doesn't change for me anything. So the timeline for Fallout London is actually very interesting for me, because they chose a timeline between the events of Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, which is 2237, which is about 50 years before the events of Fallout 4. And I don't know why specifically they chose this year, but I think it will be very exciting to see the events beforehand in a different country before Fallout 4, and seeing the events between Fallout 1 and 2, as I've also played those games before. And I really want to see how tech and overall time is going by in a different location. So for me, it's another thing that is kind of driving the excitement and anticipation once it actually will release, because I know I will spend countless hours playing this, and I will definitely be playing it a lot, especially after redoing just vanilla Fallout 4. Another thing is pre-existing factions and what is required to actually play this mod. So what you really need is your computer that runs Fallout 4, has all the DLCs, so the full edition of Fallout 4, because it uses assets from all of those. So I think I have already prepared in time, unknowingly, by getting the full edition of Fallout 4, but that was also for the reasons that I wanted to complete the full game again. And here comes the thing about the factions. There won't be any pre-existing factions, as they are United States primarily only. So there's going to be new exciting factions. By my count, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's 6 factions. And one of the prime factions for creating the shelters and the version of Pip-Boy, you could say, as you see by the tablet used here on the screen, is Angel. That is one of the only factions I have memorized as well, because you see their symbols everywhere. And finally, what most people probably also would want to know, and for me it also was very interesting to find out, the gunplay, the weapons of Fallout London. Well, since certain gun restrictions have not happened in the universe of Fallout, there will be weapons available, but as the developers have said on their website, they will have sections of the game that encourage, maybe even possibly force the player to use melee weapons as a challenge. That also is very intriguing for me. I don't really use too many melee weapons in Fallout. I'm more of a gun person myself. I always try to scavenge for ammunition, but that currently is not important. There will be also variations of guns and scrapped, kind of built, handmade guns available, and ammunition for them, but primarily there's going to be sections of the game where melee combat is essentially the primary part that you will be using whilst navigating through the maps, bunkers, or settlements that are in need. The weaponry was not discussed, so that will be a little surprise once more footage and more updates from the devs come. But overall, I think this is a very exciting mod that is literally in the size of a full playable DLC that is coming in 2023. There's no certain date of release, because the devs, as said in the intro, are working in their own free time and sacrificing their own free time to develop this. So there's something to be looking forward to, and I will be definitely playing this once it releases. If I have the possibility, I will probably record me playing through it, but that's not a promise currently. But if y'all would want to see more updates on this once I find something out, or more updates come about this mod, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.
You are quite the wayfarer, aren't you? Escaping all that hubbub. With all you've been through, I'm impressed. It seems I neglected to introduce myself. Very unprofessional of me. I'm Mr. Smythe. And you? Well, it doesn't matter who you are. Now, I'm sure you have many questions, and perhaps someday I'll answer them. But for now, wayfarer, let's not stand on parade. Since I'm all for giving one a sporting chance, I've unlocked the doors. Go. Stay safe, and remember, mind the gap.